Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome back to our study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah, Selected Letters by Shoghi Effendi. Linked below, you will find this document if you want to read along. You'll find the launch video for this project. Basically, I'm here leading this study along, just reading to you word by word, exploring these letters in order to better understand them and to excavate some of the gems that I believe are the spiritual solutions to all of the world's problems. And you'll also find the playlist for this whole series leading up today if you want to catch up. It's December, you guys. Can you believe it? Happy December. And those of you who celebrated the American Thanksgiving last week, I hope it was awesome. And also those of you who celebrated the 100-year passing of Abdu'l-Baha last week, I also hope it was beautiful and spiritually galvanizing for you. All right, so we are jumping in to paragraph 34 of America and the Most Great Peace. And this section, though it's talking about a specific time and very specific situations, I think gives us great guidance for moving through hard times and challenges and confusion and opposition. It does contain some historical references that are, to me, not completely clear. So I'm going to do my best sharing my understanding, but if you are a history buff in the Baha'i legacy, please drop in your comments if you have like a more clearer understanding of what we're talking about. All right? So paragraph 34 of America and the Most Great Peace. In the prosecution of their task, neither the whisperings of the treacherous nor the virulent attacks of their avowed enemies allowed to deflect them from their high purpose, or to undermine their faith in the sublimity of their calling. So we're talking about the early Bahais right after the passing of Abdu'l-Baha, okay? And that they were carrying out the will and testament of Abdu'l-Baha undisturbed by the bad things happening. The agitation provoked by him who in his incessant and sordid pursuit of earthly riches would have, but for Abdu'l-Baha's warning, sullied the fair name of their faith, had left them in the main undisturbed. And here, my friends, that's one of the things I'm not sure about. Him, it's a man, his incessant and sordid pursuit of earthly riches. I'm thinking it was Ahmad Sohrab, who had the Caravan of the East and West. I don't think it's Mirza Muhammad Ali, but if you can confirm or share, please let me know. Who are we talking about here? Sordid pursuit of earthly riches would have, but for Abdu'l-Baha's warning, sullied the fair name of the faith, had left them in the main undisturbed. Schooled by tribulation and secure within the stronghold of their fast evolving institutions, they scorned his insinuations and by their unswerving loyalty were able to shatter his hopes. They refused to allow any consideration of the admitted prestige and past services of his father and of his associates to weaken their determination to ignore entirely the person whom Abdu'l-Baha had so emphatically condemned. And that's very interesting. So this person that we're talking about had an illustrious past. So it could have been like a trap for people to be like, well, this guy seems like he should be a good person or wise. But in the case where Abdu'l-Baha is emphatically warned, then the people were able to overcome that sort of human tendency to be sucked in by someone's status or like an established respect for them. in a sort of worldly way, I think. That's my understanding. Okay. The veiled attacks with which a handful of deluded enthusiasts subsequently sought in the pages of their periodical to check the growth and blight the prospects of an infant administration had likewise failed to achieve their purpose. If you can tell me what this periodical is, that would be helpful. I do know that there were like pamphlets that were distributed, the sort of Ruth White School and Ahmad Sorab. I'm not really sure if there was like, if a periodical refers to that or like actually like a magazine that was established. Crowdsourcing, my friends. Thank you for helping me with this. I really did research this and I wasn't entirely sure. So if you can enrich this study, it'd be great. Okay. The attitude which a besotted woman later on assumed, her ludicrous assertions, her boldness in flouting the will of Abdu'l-Baha and in challenging its authenticity, and her attempts to subvert its principles, were again powerless to produce the slightest breach in the ranks of its valiant upholders. And this, I do believe, is referring to Ruth White, who challenged the will and testament of Abdu'l-Baha. The treacherous schemes which the ambition of a perfidious and still more recent enemy has devised. Ooh, is this Rainn? I guess this is Rainn. And through which he is still striving to deface Abdu'l-Baha's noble handiwork. No, it can't be Rainn. Who are we talking about, my friends? There's so many of these bad fellows. Now I'm confused. This is 1933. Okay, so who is the more recent one? So who is the one with the incessant and sordid pursuit of earthly riches that Abdu'l-Baha warned about? What is the periodical where disinfo was spread? And then who in 1933 is the more recent of these, more recent enemy who has devised and through which he is still striving to deface Abdu'l-Baha's noble handiwork and corrupt its administrative principles, are being once more completely frustrated. These intermittent and abortive attempts on the part of the assailants to force the surrender of the newly built stronghold of the faith, its defenders have from the very beginning utterly disdained. No matter how fierce the assaults of the enemy or skillful his stratagem, they have refused to yield one jot or one title of their cherished convictions. His insinuations and clamor they have insistently ignored. The motives which animated his actions, the methods he steadily pursued, the precarious privileges he seemed momentarily to enjoy, they could not but despise. Thriving for a time through the devices which their scheming minds had conceived and supported by the ephemeral advantages which fame, ability, or fortune can confer, these notorious exponents of corruption and heresy have succeeded in protruding for a time their ugly features, only to sink as rapidly as they have risen into the mire of an ignominious end. Wow. I feel like I've read that before. I don't know if Shoghi Finney has expressed that last idea different times in several ways, or if that's been quoted in other places. But what a burn, right? What a beautiful burn. Striving for a time through the devices of their scheming minds and conceived and supported by the ephemeral advantages which fame, ability, or fortune can confer, these notorious exponents of corruption and heresy have succeeded in protruding for a time their ugly features, only to sink as rapidly as they had risen into the mire of an ignominious end. All right, my friends, thank you so much for studying with me. That was all paragraph 34. Once again, if you have any thoughts, any research, anything you would like to share, please drop it in the comments. I really love reading it, and it really does enrich this study and make it a participatory experience. If you would like to support this channel and the work that I do, you will find links below on how you can do that. Everything is super duper appreciated. And until next time, my friends, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. I'll catch you next time.